Hello, in this video we're going to be looking at creating the digital farm from the PLM mapping software. We're going to be looking at how we get organised in the PLM mapping software before the transfer takes place, how to export the CM1 folder to desktop, and then importing that CM1 folder into the MyConnect Farm app, and then just checking that data is okay in the app. Hi, the best thing to do when we're starting the transfer process from PLM Mapping up to the PLM Connect My Farm app online is to start with the desktop software, whether it's the PLM Mapping or whether it's PFS or SMS or any other software that you have with your boundaries and AB lines already set up in it, and also your digital farm. And so whichever version of the software that you've got, what we want to do is make sure that everything is organized. So all our farm names are there, we haven't got any duplicates, they're all set up in lowercase, and also when we look at the AB lines, that we haven't got any extra AB lines that we don't want. So for example, here we've got straight one. I've got a couple of straight ones. If we don't want any of those, let's delete them. And so they are gone at the moment. There seems to be a little bug in the desktop version where the names aren't refreshing in the legend, but don't worry about that because the AB lines will go. Click on straight 2 and we'll get rid of those as well. So all that we're left with is the AB lines that we want. And what we can do if we want to is highlight one of the AB lines, and then if we go edit, right mouse click and go properties, we can put in to windmill in lowercase, so we know it's been through the software process, and so everything is organized correctly from there. So we see that the name is refreshed on the window. So once we've got everything organized, it doesn't matter so much about the crop types and the enterprises that we've got, because we're not exporting those. All we're going to be exporting here is our field names, so our grower farm field, our boundaries and our AB lines. We have one field that doesn't actually have any we've got black tank there that doesn't have, we've got blue tank that has a boundary, black tank doesn't. So what we might want to go and do before we start this export process is go and map that field in our vehicles. Much better to do it there so it's nice and accurate, especially if we're using RTK. So then we have whichever field that we've got our boundaries, our correct field names and our AB lines. Then what we would do is go to Write Job Data and select IntelliView 2+2 and export it out as though we are just doing a normal export out to our our machine. So I've got my grower, farm and fields. We want to make sure that they all go out rather than just the one. And so we'll just untick and tick them. So make sure that they've got all the tick boxes next to them. And then under options, we don't need ISO XML, we don't need prescriptions, but we need field boundaries, guidance and obstacles, because if that's what we'll update, import into the My Farm app. So we click OK. Our location here now is going to be our desktop. So we'll click select folder and export as a zip file, which is better because that's the format that we uploaded onto the My Farm app in. And so if we've got that already, we can easily identify it on our desktop. So then we'll click OK and click OK to the warning. It's just about AB line alignment. One job exported, so what that would suggest is that I've got a variable rate map in there somewhere from historically, which nothing to worry about. It should normally say 0 jobs exported, so that's all okay. Then we go to our web browser and then we type in fleet.myplmconnect.com and you log in using the passwords, the username and password that you set up. And if you haven't done that, then look at the previous video and it will show you. And then in the left hand corner it's got fleet. Click the 3 arrows, the 3 lines and go to My Farm. sign in, it will do that all automatically. And what we see here is we're back to our window that we set up, where we've just got our the default settings for the farm set up. We've got no activities because this is the first time that we're going to be doing that exercise. So we're going to go to add, and then we're going to go to case New Holland, and it's a CM1. Please select file to upload, and it says please select CM1 zip file. So that was the reason that we exported it out as a zip file from the PLM mapping software. So we'll select please select file to upload, and we will go to desktop, and that's the file that we've looked at before. That's the one that we've just exported. We'll click open. It's uploading the file. We're going through the process, and it's reading our setup data. And so, depending on your connection speed, this can take a little while, and also dependent on the number of growers, farms, fields, boundaries, and AB lines that you have. The joys of doing it this way is that you haven't got to manually enter every single field that you have, and because that can take a lot of time. You've already done it once, so let's utilize that data that we have. So we want the setup data and operator data, overwrite existing field boundaries. Generally you don't want to do that, because once they've been set up on your you've set them up in PLM mapping, so they're accurate, but in future operations when we're bringing data in, we don't really be wanting to overwrite field boundaries unless you've merged two fields together, etc. So we'll click finish, importing the selected data. And so now it's bringing it into the software as we want it. So this is much easier than creating each one field by field. There is another video on how to do that, and so please look out for that one as well if you want to know how to set it up from scratch. And to navigate around our data, we can go to the top of the field selector list, select 100 acre for example, or we can select to windmill, which may be a slightly better example for when we want to come and have a look at our AB lines. So under layers we have and then equipment, we have AB guides and AB guides labels. If we tick show all, that will show all the AB line types that we have. If we just want to look at the AB lines, then we tick that one. If we want the names, then we can tick the next box as well. To remove it, just tick the layers, and we have the names of the AB lines here. Now you may remember when we were looking at the PLM mapping software from the desktop, we got rid of straight 1 and straight 2, one of which was down on the right hand boundary here. As we can see, that hasn't come across. So as we clean the AB lines up before we move the data across from one software to the other, it was the advantage of doing it there rather than having to do it in here, because we know that it all works out. We rename one of the AB lines as well from uppercase to lowercase. If it's uppercase, it's been named in the monitor generally. And if it's in lowercase, it's been through the software process of either renaming it or making sure that it's in the correct place. So as it's gone through the software, we can be pretty sure that it is in the right position. So as it's in lowercase there, we can see that came through from the software as well. To remove the layers, we'll just untick AB line, untick names, and then tick the AB lines, the layers as well. Sometimes they don't refresh, so we'll just tick them, tick it show all, and remove them as well, and we can see that they're gone. So depending on the browser you've got, that may happen. Just a couple of ticks on the layers. And then finally, once we've got all our AB lines and boundaries in, the next stage is to export, and we have the export button up here, and there are other videos that will explain the process of exporting it out to a particular monitor. But as you've got everything set up now in the My Farm app, we are ready to go through that process. So go and check out the video on how to export to your monitors. So we have now exported all the data from the PLM mapping software and brought it into the My Farm app in respect of AB lines, boundaries, and most importantly our grower farm and field digital farm setup.